I mean,
Okay, no. She
that
can be
would be
foul-mouthed.
that would be Nero's approximation of what happened, right? Like
Yeah.
whatever she actually said, but effectively, like what she didn't literally say, "Eat a dick,"
Right.
but
essentially, yeah.
effectively she
I got you.
said, "Why don't
Like
you
if
go
you were to
fuck
retell the
yourself?"
story. Yeah.
And he's
Well,
like,
yeah.
"Oh God."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll do that.
Listen, she didn't mean it that way. And Reese is like, "Oh, I meant it that way.
Yeah. No. Clearly.
100% meant it that way."
Yeah. Yeah. We'll be that. We'll break out of jail. Jailbreak. It's like, well, we wouldn't be in this situation if you just shut your damn mouth. It's no fun.
All right, what about Spike's? Yes, how did Spike hit level 2? Spike, what is your story?
Trying to see if I wrote that in it or not. Do you need it written out?
Probably not.
He tried helping fight off the dragon that killed his clan.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it's understandable. Like, you know Mike's background, and I'm just like a military soldier hired to be his bodyguard. But like his family really doesn't care, and they hope that he fails. So that's why they've, hired me, hired Reese to be his bodyguard. It's like, is this a joke? Yeah, apparently, but you don't know that. But I gradually figured out as our adventures get harder, and we barely escape with our lives.
Would you say Reese has a short temper?
Yeah, I mean, like, Toph kind of did, right? Like,
I wouldn't say Toph had a short temper. Toph definitely had a big mouth.
Yeah, talking shit. So, like...
So you think she has a big mouth, not so much a short temper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you guys actually just doing an Avatar campaign?
Not exactly, but Reese and Nero are inspired by Zuko and Toph. Like it's not at all a one-to-one exact
No
situation.
But I just want to play a little smart mouth, big, basically me, kind of in a way, but just with a giant sword.
Great. What was your adventure that got you to level 2?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. I haven't given that any thought. I didn't know that was a thing. I honestly have no idea. I don't even know how somebody goes to level 2, so me making up a story.
I mean, just make up a story of some adventure you did, or something that would give your character, a reason to be better at what they do.
Yeah, so you were a hermit. What is the thing that happened that makes you not a hermit anymore? Why did you choose to leave your hilltop where the people just all called you Gray?
Okay. So, off the top of my head, he was in solitude as a hermit for so long, studying and reading, and he used to be super devout to the gods, and he still is, right? But he's not like currently there. But he's through all the solitude, he was like trying to find the evil because everywhere around him it's just been like good. And he's been good and the people have been good. So he's developed this passion to find the evil and destroy it.
Interesting.
Are you playing a cleric?
Yeah, but don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
He's confused. He's been in solitude. He's a little messed up, but he's a good guy. And so years and years of study and learning has made him a better than a level 1 cleric.
All right, I'll take it.
I mean, you had many years of dedicated studying. Clearly better than the average cleric.
That's
Indeed.
right. That's why I'm level 2.
Took him years, but he made it to level 2. Fuzz, what do you got?
I'm working on my inventory. Give me
I
one moment
posted
here.
I posted the actual text of mine in Discord. I'll tell you a little bit more about like my family and kind of what they're all about. Not specifics, but like, yeah, they sent me out to gain this information, and they fully expect me to fail, and this is why they sent me anyway.
Is Greenest a port city in any way, shape, or form?
No, it is
No,
not a
it's
port
like-
city.
It's pretty landlocked, as
It
I
is
recall. in
very
fact.
landlocked.
As I recall, Greenest is in fact like in the middle of fuck nowhere.
Yep. So what brings you guys to Greenest and together?
Me and Reese came here after our jailbreak.
Okay.
Like basically, we were in the vicinity in the region looking for information on the dragon cult, or really not information on the dragon cult so much as like just information on dragons. And then that got us into trouble, not because of like some grand conspiracy, but just because nobody likes adventurers when they show up and start acting like assholes. So then we broke out of jail after Reese got us into trouble for talking mad shit.
Yeah.
And then after we broke out, we kind of just wandered in this direction and stumbled into the dragon cult.
Did you actually stumble into the cult, or just happen to be in Greenest at the same time as them?
I mean, like, yeah, we happened to be in Greenest when the dragon cult showed up.
You
Which
assume that the
Sarah
dragon
would
cult
say,
is in
How
Greenest.
serendipitous. I remember the very beginning of the module, buddy.
Maybe it's changed.
I mean, okay, if it's changed, then I have to be in Greenest. Like, we're in Greenest because we just broke out of jail, and this is not where we were put in jail.
So
Where is Greenest on the map?
Greenest is the town we're starting in.
Greenest. Literally as in, like,
Greenest.
the greenest hills.
Okay, so here's a situation. I don't know if this is
More
how this
greener.
works, but because I was a hermit, there was a village that was nearby, or a town. Can Greenest be that? And I was a hermit nearby.
Sure.
And I was-
Oh, it's
yeah,
at the
that's fine.
very bottom of the map.
and that's
Okay,
how
I see
I
where it is.
met everybody.
Yeah.
I like it.
So Geoff is a wanderer, and having heard about Dragon's treasure in Greenest, his curiosity was piqued. So he set off to another new land, and on his trip there, the caravan he was in was assaulted by bandits. And after fighting them off, he was resolute in his decision. He knew it was a good idea to head this way because he likes adventure.
All right.
Let's go.
And Spike, what brings you to Greenest?
Was the next location he was checking in the 15 years of wandering that he was doing while looking for the ruby dragon that killed his clan.
Ruby Dragon, what's that?
Whatever
Wouldn't that
red
be-
dragon thingies. I just assumed Ruby was one of them.
Just a red dragon.
Traditionally, dragons are either metallic or chromatic. So, like, gold or bronze or red or blue.
So red
Although
dragon then.
Matt Colville's recent thing is doing gemstone dragons. So there are, like, ruby dragons and emerald dragons and onyx dragons.
Well, it could just be
They're
a
not
red
official.
dragon that they call
Yeah.
a ruby dragon because it has
Sure.
a fetish for rubies.
I was legit asking Ruby Dragon, what's that? Not like, you're wrong, but like, yeah, that sounds neat. What's that?
But yeah, red dragon.
Those guys are dicks.
All right, so I've got Reese and Nero broke out of jail and happened to flee in the direction of Greenest. Spike is hunting a dragon, and his journey has brought him to Greenest at this point. Geoff is just looking for adventure, and Gray is a hermit that's near Greenest.
And
Sound about
depending
right?
on, yeah, and depending on what you want to do, Vasir, in terms of furthering of individual character storylines, I have like ideas about like, well, like, why are the dragon riders not really a thing anymore, and why have previous attempts to bring them back failed? And why is what Nero's family wants him to do not actually going to work?
Cult of the Dragon is the answer to all three of those.
Sure.
Cult of the Dragon killed the dragons. They killed the Dragon Riders' dragons and raised them as Draco Liches. Attempts to revive the Dragon Riders have failed because the Cult of the Dragon kills the dragons. And your family doesn't think you're going to succeed because the Cult of the Dragon will kill you and your dragon if you successfully get one.
Okay.
Cult of the Dragon, baby.
Yeah, that's fine. I meant more in like a moral of the story way,
Gotcha.
as opposed to a practical way.
Sure.
Like basically, his family is like, "Hey, go figure out how to enslave dragons so that we can have dragon riders." And the answer is, that's not really how you get dragon riders.
Oh, well,
Like,
I mean,
nobody
you're
knows that?
certainly going to learn how to, well, I don't know about certainly, but you'll discover a means to enslave dragons throughout your adventures, I'm sure.
Okay.
Whether you will succeed
Right.
remains to be seen.
Gotcha.
All right, so I believe next Sunday we could probably start our first session. Trying to think if possibly we could do it earlier, but I would say just plan on next Sunday.
So I'm kind of in the dark here as far as the general storyline. It sounds like everybody
Okay.
knows something to do with dragons, but I didn't even know that. So is there a quick
Oh.
rundown of basically?
Yes,
what we are?
there was one posted there. If you go to the setting information channel, there's stuff there, and I actually had started adding something else that I forgot to finish.
Okay, so read through that and I'll be pretty caught up with the general idea of where we are, what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, maybe not so much where you are, but you know that you're a hermit outside of Greenest, and that's where you are. I would say that if you want to get specific with like your background a little bit more, you could say that your isolation gave you great insight into a great evil that only you can destroy. The great evil could be Tiamat, and so you're taking it upon yourself to deal with the cult of the dragon since they are interested in Tiamat.
What city? I feel like I need something like, I'm like, as a member of the military, like, what is the name of the region or whatever?
I'm from Thay.
Right, but I'm not evil.
But you don't. Well, I mean, neither am I.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, my roots are
But
not.
you could have been a soldier from anywhere. Do you view yourself as a, like? I mean, clearly you're a sword for hire.
Right.
So, like, what kind of place do you want to be from? I mean, there's probably like the big cities like in the region would be like Luskin, Neverwinter, and Waterdeep. But there
I
are
wouldn't say those
tons.
region of Thay by any means.
No. I'm saying in the
Oh,
region
okay.
of the campaign
Right.
of the Sword Coast. Neverwinter, Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate, Luskin. Those aren't Thayan cities at all.
No.
Those
Right.
are Sword Coast cities. But she said I mean, my impression when she said I'm not evil was she didn't want to be from Thay. So I didn't
Right,
say
yeah.
Thayan cities.
Right. So, why
So,
does
I
Baldur's
mean-
Gate sound familiar? I like.
It was a game.
Lots
Okay,
of
yeah.
games named after Baldur's Gate.
Okay,
Same
because I
with
was like, I
Pokemon.
swear that was a video game, and then I saw it when I was looking up this stuff. I'm like, Baldur's Gate, that's a video game.
Yep. There's also a ton of video games set in Neverwinter.
Yeah, Thay is on the opposite side of the opposite side of the continent. I won't say opposite side of the world, but definitely
Yeah,
the
I'm
opposite
very
side.
far from home.
Okay.
But don't worry, it's good that I'm far from home because my people are dicks.
Yep. So you said it was Neverwinter? Like, what is that? Could I equate that to, oh, shit. My Game of Thrones references farted in my head, but, you know, the North.
No, it's
No.
Neverwinter.
Oh, Neverwinter. Okay.
I mean,
God
it
damn.
is kind of
I mean,
far north, but
It is in the north, but it is
Neverwinter.
specifically called Neverwinter
and
because
it's
there's
Neverwinter is
stuff there
actually was destroyed, so it's
Oh,
more or less just a ruin
is
right
it?
now. There are attempts being made
I
to
didn't know
rebuild
that.
it, but it was destroyed. A volcano erupted. basically right next to the city.
Okay, well, okay, Neverwinter. Okay, what about Baldur's Gate?
Baldur's Gate is fairly close to where the game takes place. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. It's probably the closest big city.
All right.
Waterdeep
But-
could be fun though. Waterdeep is like the
Well, no. Oh, wait.
It's like the New
But
York
if I'm
City.
hired as your bodyguard, would I have to be from Thay?
no.
No.
I mean,
Remember, they specifically hired you because they thought that we would both fail.
Okay. So
Like, they
so
hired you explicitly because, not explicitly because, but they believed you to be ill-suited to the task. So, like, maybe they thought that you and I wouldn't get along and that it would just cause problems.
It's Baldur, Baldur's Gate. Okay.
As in, the gate belonging to Baldur.
Okay. So I'll just put that as a member of the Baldur's Gate. Blah blah blah.
Here, I can literally link you a Wikipedia page about Baldur's Gate.
All right.
Boom. Baldur's Gate.
Okay, so it's a merchant city. Blah blah blah. It sounds good. Sounds good.
So you're a Baldurian, apparently.
Okay. All right
Persons
then.
from Baldur's Gate was known as a Baldurian.
All right. We'll run with that. So I can say like as a member of the Baldur's Gate military or whatever. Yeah.
I would doubt that they have their own full-on military. They'd probably have a militia or like a
Okay.
city,
There's lots of
city watch or
knightly
something.
orders. There's lots of
Knightly
knightly
order.
orders that are active there.
Oh.
I mean, I
Okay,
wouldn't
so
call that
member-
necessarily an army, but there are like even this page says the Knights of the Shield, the Knights of the Unicorn are both active in the city. There's also the Flaming Fists, which is like a mercenaries guild.
Actually, no. There is a. It was the Flaming Fists. Yes, you said.
Yeah,
I remember
Flaming
there. I
Fists
remember there
are-
being something mentioned about. I think the Flaming Fist specifically. How they're the kind of controlling force in the lower city of Baldur's Gate.
a
Oh.
mercenary company based in the city of Baldur's Gate. Its members
So
serve
would I
as
be
city
a Flaming
guards.
Fist?
So you'd probably be a member of the Flaming Fist.
As a member of the Flaming Fist. All right. Ha! How appropriate. A Flaming Fist protecting a guy who fights for
There
fun.
you go.
I like that.
The Flaming Fist. I can't say or hear Flaming Fist without hearing it in like this really over the top, like almost southern accent, because it was one of the NPC voices in Baldur's Gate when you talked to a member of the Flaming Fist would say like very loudly, "I serve the Flaming Fist," but like they said it weird. Let me see if I can. I serve the Flaming Fist.
Okay, I'm a member of the Flaming Fist.
Perfect.
Stuff
Found
about
it.
Baldur's Gate for you. Probably
Okay.
mentioned in the wiki already, but that's from the module itself.
Here you go. That's what I hear every time someone says Flaming Fist, like in my head. I serve the Flaming Fist.
I serve the Flaming Fist.
It sounds ridiculous.
I'm super southern.
All right,
I don't need to add on
the
to
ranks of the Flaming Fist are Fist, Gauntlet, Manip, Flame, Blaze, and Marshal. For a Marshal, you're a general.
What's
Ah.
a sergeant?
A sergeant is a Manip.
All right, she's a mana.
Manip.
Wait, what? Spell that again?
Manip. Manip. is their
M-A-N-I-P.
sergeant. Yep.
Okay.
What the fuck is a Manip? A Manip is no, that's not right. It's not a photo manipulation.
M-A-N-I-P. All right. Manip. Manip. All right. Like manipulation. Okay.
Define Manip.
Okay, I've added that to my sergeant rank insignia and just put man
It's
about.
just short for manipulation.
Yes, but that's like all the rest of them are like fist, gauntlet, flame, blaze, martial, and then manip.
All right.
All right, I'm like 80% sure I'm done. Yep, looks like it.
Ooh, enemies, Cult of the Dragon. There you go. You hate those dudes.
Oh, I do.
You probably do not get along with your organization. They are lawful neutral. But that makes sense of why, like, if my family, like, it makes sense for both sides. Like, my family wants a shitty bodyguard. The Flaming Fist wants to get you out of their hair.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Here, she's got a rebellious spirit. Take her.
Yeah, and it looks like what do you know what year the campaign takes place in this year? Is it 14? Isn't it 1480 something?
It probably is.
I'm not that familiar with the Baldur's Gate timeline, so
Let me see. Do we have a date? Um, $14.89.
oh. So in 1479, the Flaming Fist had changed from a mercenary group to the police and military force of Baldur's Gate.
There you
So
go.
you guys have been the military force of Baldur's Gate for about a decade now.
Nice.
So there you go. You're a member of the Flaming Fist. I serve the Flaming Fist.
Fist.
So we're actually pretty close to your home.
All right.
Baldur's Gate is like northwest of us on the other side of the. Is that a forest?
There is a forest.
Map of the Sword Coast.
There's one in the settings thing.
Yeah, but it's not great quality when I try to
Well,
like zoom in.
if you open it up and then zoom in, and really,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
looks like great quality to me.
yeah, it's not
No,
for
if
me.
you, so in Discord, if you click open original, it's like huge. You get
Yeah,
really good
yeah.
quality.
Oh, maybe I didn't open original. Let me see. Open original. Okay, yeah, that is way bigger than the other one. Yeah, the Wood of Sharp Teeth. On the other side of that is Baldur's Gate. That doesn't sound like a super friendly place, though.
Well, the interesting thing is that a lot of these forests have different names depending on the map that you look at. Like this other map
Oh,
that
yeah.
I'm looking at, it's called Werewoods.
Oh, cool. Great. I wonder what's in there.
Sharp teeth, probably.
I mean, probably wear somethings with sharp teeth. My guess would be rats. Wear rats.
But then, like, there's another forest that's supposed to be pretty close to that one that doesn't show on this map.
So-
That is called Snakewood.
Are we saying like if any of these nearby cities are like a day or two from Greenest?
I actually have specific travel times because you do move on from Greenest at some point.
Oh, I was just wondering, like, if we say we're from, like, the town we're fleeing from is one of these nearby towns.
Oh, sure. Which one would you like it to be?
Which one, Mike?
Go ahead. I don't fucking know. I don't know anything about these other towns. I was
Okay.
saying, oh God, as in like it's gonna get real awkward if we have to go there for some reason.
Yeah.
But
So
I mean, you can pick. I don't care.
what if we came in from like Candlekeep or something? Greenest
Fuck.
is
Candlekeep is one of the few places that I recognize, but that's fine. We can be running from Candlekeep. I'm okay with that.
I don't recall Candlekeep being on here.
It's not
It's
that
on this
I think
map.
Candlekeep. Yeah, Candlekeep's on the
Just
map.
south of
It's not
Baldur's Gate.
necessarily a place that I remember from the adventure. It's just one of those places that I remember from the fucking 20 years that I've been playing D&D.
Tell me about it.
Okay,
don't
but I
remember
mean,
it.
like,
All I remember
is
is like Candlekeep. That's a place.
Oh yeah.
okay,
like,
so
you
we can
think-
be
I
from
don't
there,
fucking
and
know
we
what
run
that
to
is.
but we are starting in Greenest, right? So like we could say
Yes.
we fled Candlekeep, and we're like, oh shit. Well, that looks
Sure.
like pretty far. Okay,
Let's
all
see.
right.
Let's see if Candlekeep is even a city though, or a town, or someplace you would have potentially been. Actually, I would say it makes sense you were there. I think something I read said there's like a volcanic crag underneath it, so perhaps you went there looking for a dragon.
Okay, that
Sure.
I'm just writing
Yeah.
a quick 4-sentence
Yeah,
backstory for you.
Candlekeep is fine. Well, it's got to be more than 4 sentences.
It was 4 sentences when I made the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The seer wants more than 4 sentences.
I want something I can stay up all night reading.
And I am not writing you fanfic. No, but like for real, legit, it's like 4 sentences or so, pretty good. Like to give you a basic idea
Sure.
for now. Okay.
Is
Like, I'm
Candlekeep
working-
a
I'm
city
working
or
on
is it
a-
a town?
Huh?
Is Candlekeep a city or a town?
It is a fortress library.
Great.
Oh, knowledge. Wait, what? Like it's a literal library? We would be there for
Towered
knowledge?
fortress library that stood on a crag overlooking the Sea of Swords. The library is filled with books and scrolls of knowledge. It was home to the great seer Alando, who foresaw the coming of the Balespawn. To gain entry to the halls of wisdom, a visitor must gift the library collection with a new tome of immense value. Shrewd gatekeepers accepted tomes of no less than 1,000 gold pieces.
Does that come in
That
blue?
It's very unlikely you guys made it in, and maybe that's why you
awkward
were
if I just
arrested.
Yeah.
talked
Probably,
over
like,
that.
I probably tried to pull some I'm a noble shit,
I had it muted
and
in
it didn't
Discord.
go like,
If I
and we
coughed in
got
everyone's ears,
rejected.
I'm sorry.
And then Reese ran her mouth,
Yeah.
and then we got in a little
Why
bit
the
of trouble.
fuck not?
And then Reese ran her mouth more, and started getting a little rowdy, and then we got thrown in jail, and then we broke out. So that's probably what happened.
Okay, so their latest adventure has them fleeing from Candlekeep after trying to get in. Let's see. Gain access to the library, I guess. What was it called? I know you said library, but it was something fancy.
Towered fortress library.
Towered Fortress Library. All right.
How long is each session are you shooting for? Or is there a normal time that you
I'm going
guys
to try to
do?
keep it to 4 hours or less. Like, ideally, we'll do an episode every night. Or not every night, an episode every session, but we'll
Oh
see.
God.
We'll see what we end up getting done. Like, some episodes are definitely going to probably take longer than others, and some are going to be really short. So we may end up doing 2 episodes or 1.5 episodes sometimes, or maybe even only half an episode in other events.
And we're shooting for Sundays. Is there a time that we're shooting for?
Between 6:30 and 7 Central.
I mean, if we're gonna run 4 hours, I'd like 6:30 is probably the latest I could start.
Yeah. I would plan on
You know,
6:30 for the
about
most part.
10:15, I gotta pop that Ambien, and so
Right.
you know.
Oh, Candlekeep. That's why I know Candlekeep. It's the starting city for Baldur's Gate. It's the literal start. You literally start in Candlekeep. Imports, books. Exports, knowledge, books.
Books. So that this all kind of works, right? Like you're after stuff, and that would be
Yeah, Nero
Like
would
a-
want to get into the Candlekeep Library, absolutely.
How useless am I if I'm like 95% just supportive
It depends on what you mean.
in terms of like the spells I chose?
That's fine.
Like I think I have one damaging ability.
I mean, that's fine. You
You'll
may
gain more-
eventually change your mind and want to change your spells, but
which
You're-
you
Yeah, I
can
mean,
do very
yeah,
easily
as a cleric, you just
Really-
prepare different spells then.
Yeah, you have access to all cleric spells. You have the level for, but you can only prepare X amount a day. But what you prepare can change every single day.
yeah. So
Why do I have
you're fine.
access to all of them?
What do
It's
you
just
want?
how clerics work.
Oh, so, okay, that's a cleric thing. Okay.
Yeah, like for instance, I can only know when I hit level 20, I will only be able to know 15 spells. Period.
But he doesn't have to say which ones he has prepared. He can just fire off any spells that he knows. He can just do them.
Oh, okay. And I can only have X amount prepared per day.
Right.
Which is based on like what your stat and your level, right?
Yep. Stat plus half caster level.
This says stat plus the whole level.
It might be different for him because he's a cleric. Mine was stat plus half level, so maybe it's.
Oh, it's probably
Wizards-
because you're a paladin and you're just a scrubby. You're like
Yeah, you're a master, so
Look at
half
your-
level. Because I know wizards are level plus stat.
There you go, Vasir. My 4 sentences. I'm not writing you fanfic because I'm trying to work on a 6 to 10 page essay for English class. So
just
I'm
write me fanfic instead of the essay and make try that as your essay.
no.
I just put it in my notes on my character sheet.
You already have fanfic in Western March, anyways.
Choose a number of cleric spells equal to your wisdom modifier plus your cleric level, minimum of 1 spell. Yep.
So you could do 5 spells then.
Oh, I have to pick another one.
You don't have to.
but it's probably a good
You can be
idea.
like, I only have 4 prep. Fuck it, I don't care.
That's my penalty because I'm not currently worshiping. They only let me carry 4.
I mean, that's on you, buddy. Make a lot of decisions like that, and you will rapidly become not very useful.
I'm gonna
But you'll probably have inspiration then, so maybe you'll be a little more useful. Protection from good and evil is a good one.
I just dragged one over.
Yeah, well, it's still a good one.
So what does it mean? It says until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch is protected. So when does the spell end?
Duration
Duration is
expires or when your
concentration up to 10
concentration-
minutes. So concentration spells, you have to stay focused to keep the effect up. So you can attack and move and stuff normally, but you can't cast any other spells.
Okay, what does the
if you take any-
VSM mean?
So those are the components. It means that casting a spell requires you to speak a word, make a motion with your hands, and you have to have some sort of material.
V stands for
Generate.
verbal,
Right.
S stands for somatic, and M stands for material. So verbal means you must say something. Somatic means you have to like gesture with your hands, and material means you have to have a focus. Typically, you have to have like a focus. So like your holy symbol or something that you can channel your magic through.
So if my
It
hands
basically
were
means
bound,
like
I
if
couldn't.
someone exactly.
Right, if your hands
Someone
are bound,
binds your
you-
hands,
do it.
you can't cast spells with a somatic component. If someone gags you or you're in a silence, you can't cast spells with the verbal component, etc.
And so this is V, S, M. That means I have to have all 3.
Yes.
And touch, I'm assuming
Most
that just
spells
means
are all
melee,
3.
like within touching. Like
Right, you have to be
Next
next
to.
to them.
Most spells do require all 3. But there are some, like you can choose feats and stuff like that that will get rid of some stuff. I think Warcaster, I think, lets you not need you can do that stuff while like holding a weapon 2-handed.
Yeah, you can do somatic while you have a weapon.
I
or
have
shield.
Warcaster.
I wish it
That is
sorted what
my
you had
feat.
equipped and what you have in your bag rather than just this little symbol.
Yeah, you can perform the somatic components of spells even when you have weapons or a shield in one or both hands.
I mean, it sorts it alphabetically.
Yeah, I guess.
Why? What's irritating you about it?
That, like, I have on, like, line 12, my scale mail is equipped, but I wish all my equipped items were, like, at the top in their own section saying this is equipped, and then you're carrying. In the next section, this is what you're carrying.
Lindsay, you've got 5 sentences there.
Well, you're still.
Dude, jailbreak is 2 words. Go.
That's the
You know.
sentence.
It's because even though it's equipped, it still counts towards your weight, which is why it doesn't distinguish like that. At least that's what I think, anyways.
Wait, distinguish like what?
And you can actually sort it if you click. If you're in there, it says carry/equipped, like where that icon is. If you go up to the top there.
Yeah, clicking it's not doing anything.
No, clicking doesn't do anything.
It's just sorted alphabetically.
Yeah, it sorts it alphabetically, and that's it.
Good news though, I have my trusty blanket.
Blank. Blanky.
I have all sorts of shit.
Now the question is, am I the best dressed here with my fine clothes?
I have
I
adventuring.
can't answer that
clothes.
question because I'm biased.
You're not Gray. Gray don't talk. He just
Gray
grunts.
just spoke.
He goes, "Arr. Yeah."
So I am the best dressed here. That's what I'm hearing.
No, they took your fine clothes when you were in prison.
Bullshit! No, they didn't. They didn't strip me naked.
They
Who's the
put you in
dungeon
prison guard, man.
God damn it! All right.
You're
Well,
wearing one.
No.
I wanted to steal my shit back before I left. Because
Yeah,
otherwise,
yeah.
I don't have any gear, any clothes. I
No,
don't have
they,
anything.
No,
they,
we
they
still-
let you keep everything else. They just took your fine clothes.
That's
No.
bullshit.
No.
That's bullshit. That's a lot of money.
Oh, by the way, like, not that I'm hoping to. I want to stay alive as long as possible. But, you know, if I die, I already told Mike, I thought of a good joke. If she gets carved up, she's Reese's Pieces. Yeah.
You brought this on yourself.
I know.
What if her brain gets eaten?
Oh. No, they'll spit it back out. But, oh, God. What is this? Here, you can have it back. Thanks, I wasn't using it anyway. Like, what a way to go. That was terrible.
Just as a note, Vizier, so I ran Horde of the Dragon Queen. I ran like I think 2 sessions of it. But
Okay.
this was like fucking 3 years ago. I really don't remember anything about it, like the specifics. But
There's
the
not a
whole
whole
reason
lot
I
in the
bring it
first
up,
couple sessions that is
right? Well, the whole reason I bring it up is to just let you know, Horde of the Dragon Queen, quite challenging. There's a reason why I only ran it for 2 nights, and that's because on night 2 I TPK'd the party. That's just an FYI. Like, don't feel compelled to like look at the encounters and be like, "This doesn't seem very hard."
Oh no,
You know, let's juice it up a bit.
I'm
No,
not.
like,
I'm not
I
going to
assure
adjust them
you,
at all. I'm not going to adjust them at all. I'm
it's,
aware of like a couple fights that are pretty challenging, especially in like the first episode. I have to look at the second episode again, but I believe yes, there's stuff that can go wrong there as well.
just giving you the benefit of my experience. It is it's rough. It's a rough time.
Are we,
You
we
guys,
still-
you guys, watch your butts. That's all I'm gonna say.
well, like, are we allowed to flee? Like, that is still a thing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
if everyone's alive and we can disengage and break out of the fight if it's too
Yeah, I
tough.
mean, you know, the adventure's probably going to progress anyway, so like,
I don't know, man. That
If
might
you-
be kind of in the face of one of my flaws.
I mean, if you want to die for the sake of your flaw, Godspeed, my friend.
you can have inspiration
can
until
have
you die.
inspiration.
No, inspiration until you die.
If there's knowledge to gain, I'll die for it, according to my
Well,
phone.
you may also die for the sake of
You may also die with inspiration.
I mean, like, Nah.
Spike will probably just be wasted the whole time.
I will face any challenge for my family's approval. That doesn't mean die for it. It means
Nope.
I will face the challenge and presumably be like, huh, this challenge is too much. See you later.
And my flaw is
Let me seek out a new challenge.
Yeah, so I have little respect for anyone who's not a proven warrior. But if they've proven it to me, I can leave. Like, I'll be like, mad respect, chest thump, getting out. Peace out later. I'm out of here. I would like to live. I want to live.
I think the expectation is going to be on Nero to hard carry because his stats are so fucking ridiculous.
I mean, spikes are pretty decent.
I'm just gonna be pew-pewing.
I'm gonna buff and heal the shit out of everybody.
I'm just gonna get progressively more dragon-like as time goes on.
I have like a resurrect spell as well, or a cantrip. As long like, can you be dying but not dead?
Yes. So what happens is when your hit points reach 0, assuming you didn't take enough overkill damage to double your, or like to equal your maximum hit points, then you are in a dying state, and so you'll make saving throws on every one of your turns. And 3 failures results in you dying, 3 saves results in you being stabilized, and if you receive any healing, you'll be stabilized. I believe the spell that you're referring to also stabilizes.
Yeah, spare the
Yeah,
dying.
it's instant stabilize.
Yeah.
I can touch you and bring you back to life.
I think it just
Yeah,
stabilizes.
you stabilize them, so they're still unconscious. They're still at 0 hit points, but they're not like they don't have to make any more saving throws.
I'm gonna tell them when I touch them, I'm bringing you back to life. Just that false hope, that motivation to think they're gonna make it.
Except they'll be unconscious.
Yeah, but then I'll cast
Dying state
Sanctuary.
sucks, man. Dying state sucked when you're stunned. Really sucks, man.
Who's gonna save Gray though? That's the real question.
Nero will.
I mean,
My question is, how does Gray cast any of his spells with verbal components if he doesn't speak?
He can speak. He just
okay.
chooses not to. It says,
Gotcha.
wait, where is it right here? I've been isolated for so long that I rarely speak, preferring gestures and the occasional grunt. So, like, if he has to make a verbal command for a spell, he just kind of says it under his breath, but he's like, cast holy. Whatever.
All right.
Maybe he just grunts it out.
Yeah. The gods know what I mean.
Zathir's trying to get people to gamble.
Casimir was into it.
I lost a lot of gold last time I gambled with him. Although I think the Seer took most of that.
I don't believe so. I thought you won a lot of gold.
I won and then I lost like everyone after that.
No.
Both you guys took a shitload of gold from me. At least at the time.
So,
it was a
okay,
shitload of gold.
so if we're in combat and we do flee, and I'm like, I have little respect for anyone who's not a proven warrior, but like I respect these people, does that give me inspiration even if we flee?
depends on the circumstances. Is the short
Depends.
version.
Yes, I would
Okay.
agree with that.
Okay.
There's very few questions that you can answer about what will and will not give you inspiration in a general sense.
Okay, I got
They're-
you. In the
They're
specific
intended
moment.
to be, yeah, they're intended to apply to moments and less about what you do and more about why you're doing it.
Okay.
So like me just taking a challenge doesn't mean that I get inspiration. But if I take a challenge specifically because I believe that it will get me my family's respect and admiration, then I can get inspiration for it.
Okay.
I thought you didn't like your family.
No, my family doesn't like me. My mother believes that I will fail. That's why I've been sent to do what I do. But
Failed to take over the family in that sense, right? Like, not do
well,
the family.
she believes that I will fail this mission
right.
and die in the process.
But she wants you to
It has-
because she doesn't want you to take over the family because you're not evil.
Correct. That is correct. That's why she sent me on this mission that she believes that I will fail on. Because she's like, listen, he's the firstborn son, but let me just get him out of my hair.
Setting up for much drama later.
All right. I just want to test something. If I share this map, do you guys see red pins in it?
I'll see.
Some-
I
loading.
see a loading screen.
Oh, right.
These maps are take up the whole screen.
I do not
this one's
see
specifically
any red pins.
Okay, perfect. This is a map of greenest, by the way, if you couldn't tell.
I figured that with how it says greenest at the top.
Yeah.
Where's the inn? Where's the tavern?
Let's see. Let me see if one of my points tells me if there's a tavern.
I
What
can't.
is-
The tavern is the large building at the bottom right.
How do I
not
shrink
bottom
these
right.
maps?
Right click it and hit the resize one. It looks like 2 squares.
Oh, I
overlap,
got you.
And then make it the small size, and then you can grab the corner and drag it larger.
So where do you say the inn is?
I'm deciding that the inn is that large building at the bottom right with the little wall around it.
Okay.
Seems like a reasonable place for an inn. Otherwise,
Sure.
it's the one way up in the top corner with the little wall around it. Or maybe it's the one in the... There's several buildings with walls, I suppose.
I think the
Maybe
one
it's
in the
one of the
middle looks
buildings
more
right in
like
the
a
middle.
keep.
Well, yeah, the one right in the
Yes.
middle is the keep for sure.
Okay.
But like it could be...
Curious. Just wondering where I'm gonna be when all the shit
shit,
goes
this is a
down.
giant map. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to close it. I couldn't figure it out. It was just I was scrolling.
Well, I mean, like I just
forever.
dropped someone's token on it, and the token gets really tiny.
The problem is also is that once you like minimize the map, you can't fucking. Oh, there we go. I got it to adjust finally.
Yeah. Look how. Yeah. This map is fucking huge. Like, what the hell?
Well, this is
It's
like
the entire
this is
town.
yeah, this is like the
Okay.
entire first episode here.
Oh. Okay.
There you
Oh
go.
my god.
And so
There's the
Junky's
arrow.
seeing
It's
double
really annoying that you can't like drag the map around when you click like.
middle mouse button. You can.
Oh, thank you for that. Holy shit. I've been using that damn thing in the bottom right corner.
I didn't know that. Fair enough. Yeah, that makes navigation a bit easier.
Much easier.
No, didn't mean to do that. Oh no, stop.
You guys will be coming in from
I
like
know what you're
over
talking about. I'm
here.
at the inn. I'm at the inn.
Well, where? Oh, you're over there.
Down here at the inn. Spinning.
Oh, he's moving our tokens. Oh, we're gonna start all the way over here. Your ass ain't made it to the end yet.
What? This is the inn. Why are you moving me? No.
That's not the end anymore. I'm gonna decide a new end.
Oh,
I think.
just
Let me
fucking
just make
throwing
sure.
me around, bullying
Let's
me.
see.
I just see
It's
like
funny,
little tiny
'cause, yeah,
dots.
I'm like, wee!
Yeah, no, that's a temple.
Right.
Sorry, that's a temple to Shantea.
Oh god, this guy doesn't even fucking know what's going on.
Suppose I probably
We
could look at
trust
the
him.
DM's map.
We trust him with our lives.
He has no idea.
I only see 4 tokens.
Did you put yours on the map?
Yeah,
So he's there.
you just dragged me.
Who
Oh.
are we missing?
Looks like we're missing Gray.
Gray.
I had to close the map. Can you reset?
Oh.
How do I open it again?
Yeah, I'll share it again.
How do I spin around like a crazy person?
Now it's
How
really
so?
yourself.
Mouse wheel.
Okay, and how do I make this smaller?
So right click it, and there's going to be a resize thing. It looks like 2 squares overlapping.
My character upside down looks like an
You're going
umbrella.
to click that, and then you're going to click small size, and it'll make it a little tiny window. And
Okay,
then
I
you can
clicked that
drag
last
the
time and it
corner of
was
it.
massive.
You might have hit large size instead.
I don't think the small size was an option actually.
Oh.
Alternatively, you can drag it up and to the left, and then you can just resize it like you would a normal window.
Right, with the bottom right corner, or bottom left corner, the sides or whatever.
Heh, Reese is upside down. What a Dumbo.
Oh my gosh, they're so small.
Yeah, this is a very large map.
You can zoom in.
Right. If you mouse wheel in on the map.
Is there a way to just like pan within the map
Yeah,
itself?
hold the
Middle
middle
mouse
mouse
button.
button and drag.
Who's walking? I feel like I just flew.
That is you.
Are we role playing already?
Reese is upside down again.
God damn it.
Oh, sorry, you guys are actually coming in from the south.
God, this guy. This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Fucking amateur. Reference to that video that I linked you the other day this year.
I don't know that I watched that video. Let me go watch it now.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I was
It's
busy. I was
It's
busy
just Donkey.
DMing.
It's Donkey playing Dark Souls and killing an NPC and calling them a fucking amateur.
Oh, Donkey, you're the great.
It's the clip that I was looking for when I told you don't Donkey
No.
fucking amateur because you get weird shit.
Don't what?
Don't Google
So-
Donkey fucking
So
amateur.
there's a gamer YouTuber comedian named Donkey, as in donkey but with a U,
Uh-huh.
and he calls people quote fucking amateurs all the time, like in a joking way, like you fucking amateur, you don't know what you're doing. And I don't remember what happened, but like something happened, and I called
That's
this
it, by the
here
way.
a fucking amateur.
Can you
And so
can you put a token for me to attack just to see how I can figure out how spells and stuff work?
You'd like to put an
so-
enemy on there.
I wanted to link this here that video, but I didn't remember which one it was from.
Oh!
Donkey fucking amateur, and that was a mistake.
Oh, no. No, no.
Yeah.
No.
Here's
All
the token.
links.
I just gotta add this guy to the combat tracker real quick.
All links involving Basir always lead to porn.
I hope you clear your internet browser
I
history.
mean, nobody else uses my computer, so it's not.
No,
It's
not
not
you.
like that. It's more like, ew, gross.
No, it was. They said all links from Basir lead to porn.
No, it's just because I had seen this one little healer cartoon and I applied to what Casme was saying, so I Googled it quick and I found one that looked similar and I linked it and it ended up being somewhat pornographic.
Oh yeah.
Somewhat. Pornographic.
I'm sure Bookworm still has it saved.
He beat the shit out of that guy real quick.
Well, he doesn't have an HP bar.
Fuck.
No HP
Let me
bar.
try it again.
So how do you like cast spells at it?
He's
Let's
got to
fuck
fix
that
it
business,
first.
yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Oh!
Here's
and then
Big Papa.
And then Baba Nibble Snowman.
Come here. Yeah, probably missed. Oh, this is a good chance for me to check.
All right, so that's the comic I meant to link, Mike.
Dunk Souls.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
That's the one I accidentally linked.
Okay.
I captioned it. This is Casme.
Oh god, I don't want to see it, but I just know it's
Right
bad.
there.
I don't even want to know. You linked her porn. All right, Mike. All right. My God,
So I linked it, and then I like checked it. And I was like, wait a second, this is not what I meant to link, and I switched it up.
What the fuck?
Like,
Who made this?
I don't know.
In the end, I'm really just a cum dump for cops. Apparently, that's what actual healers say. Wow.
Yeah, it was good shit.
Jesus.
All right. So you said I would shift and drag the effect onto it, and that's how it
Yes.
would work. And then okay.
So that was the intended one.
Oh, no, I've seen that one before. Yeah.
Right, that was the one that I accidentally did instead.
Oh, no! You can delete that from my channel. You can delete that comment from the blog. No, good.
Oh man.
So, I mean, I'm assuming you still tell us if something hits or not.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Spike hit the Yeti. Let me double check what his armor class is. Yeti has an armor class of 15. And then if there's like a saving throw involved with your attack fuzz, like if you're casting a spell, you can just drag the saving throw thing over him.
I don't have any spells with saving throws.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what this means is he's got Hunter's Mark, and I just attack regularly.
Yeah, somebody
And-
applied double something to him.
Yeah,
Oh, no, that
I
was,
double clicked it by accident instead of just
Gotcha.
clicking it once.
It should auto roll your d6 for
Oh,
the
okay.
Hunter's Mark.
Get wrecked. Get wrecked some more. So was that correct, or does it roll the
Yep,
purple
that's right.
die? Okay, the
Purple die
the
is
extra.
your is that one.
Okay.
that's pretty crazy. 3d6 damage with a great sword if you have Hunter's Mark on him.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And then if you actually become a Hunter Ranger, you get the extra d8 if you go with the Colossus thingamajigger. Colossus.
I mean, you can stack up extra damage by splashing a bunch of different classes or taking a bunch of different feats. So like, I was debating taking Magic Initiate as my feat instead of Warcaster and going Warlock and picking up Green Flame Blade and Hex. Because I could Hex, then I could like I could Hex, and then well, no, I guess it wouldn't like that because Hex is concentration. But yeah, there's ways to stack up extra effects like that.
You also only get cantrips, and I don't believe Hex is a cantrip.
You get one first level spell. You get two
Oh,
cantrips from
yeah,
the
you're
list
right.
and one
Okay.
first level spell. Because I wanted Green Flame Blade and Lightning Lure, and then I was gonna choose first Hex for my first level. Don't you ever fucking question my D&D knowledge ever again, motherfucker?
Mhm.
So, in order to do
Okay.
damage to the guy, I have to drag the die over to him.
Yes.
Do I have to shift when I do that, or can I
No,
just?
you can just click and drag it over there.
Sometimes it doesn't work for me. I don't know why, and I just, you'll have to drag. You may have to drag it more than once, and just don't do like me, where you drag a good 19 crit, and then it doesn't pick it up. Ambien is in the house officially as of now because I realized it's kind of late.
Abominable Yeti.
Its health seems to have reset.
Yes, I just healed it up to full because you killed it.
I attack with Witch Bolt.
Okay, so healing
I
works the same
automatic
way.
miss.
Yes, healing works the same way. And if you forget to
Okay.
drag it over them, you can if you just rolled the die in chat
Okay.
by mistake and
Oh,
drop it on
let's
somebody, you can
just
just
take
drag
a-
the heal.
Oh, that
over you.
didn't. Huh? Whoops.
Who do you want to heal?
I was trying to. I'm dragging. Oh no! Do I not shift? Do I just drag?
Yeah, you just drag for the healing.
Oh.
Shift is only for the Hunter's Mark.
You put some damage on me this year.
It's not like I'm dragging it over. Oh, okay. Yeah, you need some damage, I guess. Oh, you did. Too much
Why'd you
damage.
delete me.
I didn't delete you. I made you a hostile or neutral on accident.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
you're
there you go.
wounded, so let's see how this
Yeah.
works.
Heal me.
I'm dragging. It's dropping on him, and it's not working. Oh, do I need to do it in combat tracker? Oh,
think, yeah,
combat
it works.
tracker.
You should really
Okay,
just do it
okay.
over like the portrait up in the top left.
That didn't work for me.
Okay.
Combat
Interesting.
tracker seems to work for targeting friends.
Okay.
And throwing it on their token seems to work for targeting enemies.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Gosh, these need to get better. I need to heal you, man. What? A two? Why is fucking
Don't
one?
worry. Don't worry, I can heal myself. See?
Oh,
Ow!
look. Yeah, there you go.
And that's how you heal. Maybe you should leave the healing to
Yeah.
Nero and Gray and do something else with instead of cure wounds.
I mean, having cure wounds kind of on standby is always a good decision.
Yeah.
Anyone that can prepare a healing spell should prepare a healing spell.
Nah.
You don't necessarily
There
need to
you go. That's better.
Nah.
strongly believe that everyone should prepare a healing spell.
You should
Especially in
take
this
good
campaign.
berry.
Not
You should
necessarily in
you
this
should take
campaign, but
good berry
just
so you have food on the
as
road.
a safety
I need
net.
more healing.
I need healing. I need healing. I
I'm still 7 health below maximum.
Here, I got you. Bro. Oh, that's right. Combat tracker.
How do you
It
open
didn't-
this
it didn't
combat
actually
tracker?
heal you.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
Now
I
I
just
took
put him to
damage.
13.
Oh.
Oh, you're attacking me?
Boop. Open the combat tracker by at the top right, clicking
There's
the
a word
little
up there.
the little sword.
Look at that nat 20. Dropping nat 20s all day.
Did you see a trans perception rolls last night at the beginning?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like 3 or 4 nat
26.
20s on perception.
26, 26, 26. Oh, he knows his shit, apparently.
So if you're attacked while dying, it just gives you an automatic failure, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
With
if
the
it's-
potential
if
to
it's a
auto kill.
Crit. If it's a crit, then it gives you two failed death saves. And then, yeah, you still check the damage to see if it auto kills you.
Now, is that in one attack, or just is it an adding up to
Single
a point?
attack. Single attack. You don't track negative HP. You just go to 0. And then if anything hits you for more than your maximum while you are at 0, you die.
So the higher HP, the longer you can stay unconscious.
Yeah.
Right.
But, I mean, like I said, if people hit you while you're unconscious, you start auto-failing death saves, like,
Oh.
immediately. So, like,
Gotcha.
if you're unconscious and
Holy
anybody
shit.
hits you 3
Fucking
times,
Yeti is
you die.
ridiculous. What is the CR for this thing? Only 9?
I mean,
Use one
09
of these.
is
I'm gonna have to
fucking
use one of
high.
these in fucking Western March.
It's higher than a Mind Flayer, bro.
That's true. But, well, the
What?
Mind Flayer's fight was at like CR 9 with all the extra shit in it, though.
A
Yeah, I'm
9
just
and we
saying
were
a lot.
5s?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it might have been CR 8
I don't know.
actually.
I mean, it was the encounter was a CR.
It might have been CR 8. No, it must have been 9 because the Mind Flayer was 7 by itself.
And regardless, CR, like, level 5 characters that take on a CR5 challenge, it's not that difficult.
No, it's going to be a joke.
So the way that it works is like it's considered a average challenge if it's like equal to or below. Like it's an easy challenge if it's below. If it's like average, if it's equal, it's difficult if it's I think within 1 or 2 levels, and it's considered deadly if it's higher than that. And I
Wow.
typically tune boss fights to be deadly.
Likewise.
I did not know that. And now I'm scared. But you can always disengage and flee, so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Loot's not that
I mean,
important to me.
Circumstances allowing, yeah.
Yeah.
If you can run away, then yeah, you can run.
Right. Or if they are humanoid or, you know, we speak their language, surrender. I'm okay with that too.
I think my map just froze.
I'm gonna go do some stuff and I'll be right back.
I'm about to go to bed. So
You're about to what?
I'm about to go to bed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna brush my teeth and stuff, but I'll be right back.
I updated Gray's story.
Here we
You
go.
just add like grunting sounds at the end.
Yeah, that's his background. Just Tim Allen from Home Improvement. I've changed my mind. He is devout to the god of discovery. I don't know the lore enough to make it make sense to not be devout.
Nicknamed him Gray for his large, thick cock.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Dude, you nailed it.
THICC
Like
thick?
it says beard there, but trust me when I meant cock. I wanted to say something along the lines of, but I'm really bad at storytelling or imaginative descriptions. But I wanted him to, because he's been up in the hills for the past 100 years studying, and he's learned and he's gained knowledge, and now he knows of this impending evil. I mean, that's just based off my
It's been there forever. Jesus.
bond. Yeah. And so that's why nobody really knows much about him, and he hasn't talked to anybody. And so he's just been living there. Nobody knows why he's there or what happened or how he became a hermit. But through all his years of study, he's learned of the evil that's coming to the situation. He doesn't know what it is. He just feels like there's something bad going to happen. And so he goes to town to see if there's like traveling adventurers so that he can join them or something like that. Like I'm trying to build why he met these people.
I mean, probably what's going to happen is that you guys happen to be making a trip to town at the same time, or you're maybe even on your way out,
Yeah.
and then the adventure's going to be starting, and you guys are just going to be roughly in the same. You're going to be on the same road. You might not be all right next
So
to each other.
This
but
will be like his reason to join them, I think. Because otherwise,
All right.
if we're just passing by, I feel like he'd just be like, oh.
Well, it's not just going to be passing by.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I do remember what happens like to
Yeah, I mean,
launch the
I'll
adventure,
I'll let you know.
and
Like,
I assure you, it's not ignorable.
you guys are on the road where you are right now, about, and a dragon attacks a dragon, and a bunch of cultists and mercenaries attack the town.
Who knows enslaved dragon?
I don't believe anybody does.
That'd be
Oh,
Yeah.
no, what
a
kind of
quick
dragon?
scenario one.
I'm trying to figure out how to.
Someone buy a saddle.
That happens sometimes. They're like, I'll plan an encounter, and then it suddenly gets trivialized by some class mechanic that I didn't think of. Like, there was a mummy fight last night that would have probably fucked up a couple people, but the cleric and the party turned undead on them, and they all failed their saving. Or I don't even know if they got a saving throw, but they all just fled away from the cleric, and the party dealt with them one at a time. So what should have been a pretty hard fight ended up being super easy until the ranger got a little bit antsy and shot a mummy a little bit earlier than he should have and paid the price for it.
So is this it for tonight?
Yeah. And we'll pick up with you guys on the road, and starting off with the first encounter of the first episode of the first module that I've run.
Hurrah! Hurrah!
Hey, you can drag the map down to your F1 keys and pull it back up.
That's good to know.
That is good to know.
It takes a second, but it does come back up.
Yeah, so it does. You can also just minimize it.
All right, well, cool. Thanks for helping me finish out my character. I don't need a special move or a special defense right now, do I?
No, like if you look at the grid, your movement speed is going to be 6 squares.
He's a
5
dwarf. It's
Squares.
5.
Is it? Oh, nice. Okay, 5
Dwarves
squares. I'm
get-
sorry.
25 movement, but their movement is not hampered by heavy armor.
Oh, nice. All right, so you can move 5 squares. Each square is 5 feet. And then, like, if you're in combat or casting spells ever, you'll go to your actions, and you can drag your spell effects onto people from there. If you open the combat tracker by clicking the sword and from those 8 buttons up in the top right, you can bring up the list of your allies and the order that they're acting in. Then you
Should
can
I
drag
have
your effects onto them.
other, like it looks like Nero and Spike have order and HP, so does Jeff. Should I have something in order?
So for the initiative, you would double click initiative from your main page. It's right next to your armor class, so it's in it, and then it's +1. So you double click that or click and drag it, and that will give you your place on the list. So with an 11, you are the last acting person.
Oh, okay. And what's the WND?
Wound, that's wound, so that's how much damage you've taken. So Nero's got 10 damage that he took from who knows what.
So to heal him, I go to my actions.
You
And
go
then
to
I drag
actions,
over?
and yep, and you drag the spell that you're going to cast on him over him.
Make sure you check the range when you're using them.
Right, like cure wounds, you have to be next to him. Healing
Like
words, you
healing.
can be farther away.
And I drag the plus sign?
Yep. And then you just drag it over him in the list there, and you healed him.
And then you would
Oh,
check
okay.
off one of your spells.
Your healing word should be doing a little bit more healing than that, though, I think, right? Doesn't it get his wisdom modifier on it, too?
I think so, yes.
I just fixed it.
Oh, let me try it again.
I'll fix your cure wounds, too.
Okay, so cure wounds, you have to be standing directly, or
Yeah, you have to be
Like-
right next to
Cure wound is touch, so you have to be right adjacent.
okay, like as long as they are even diagonally near
Right.
me, right?
Right, yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Your squares have to be touching.
And then I'll add an enemy to the tracker so you can practice attacking it.
Will that show up in the combat tracker as well?
Yeah, it won't show up for you, so you see the token there that's on the map.
Yeah.
If they have like a red square around them, a little like a colored circle in the bottom right, that is indicative of an enemy. So you can, if you scroll up to the top of your actions, you've got your crossbow and you've got your warhammer. So you can click and drag the first slot is like a d20 symbol. You can click and drag that onto the creature's token, and then it won't tell you if you hit or not. I'll have to let you know if it's a hit or not. So if you have any effects like a bardic inspiration on you, you can choose to use that before I tell you if it's a hit or not. And then if you hit, then you would drag your damage die over him.
As long as it makes sense to somebody.
This is one of the more complicated ways to learn this game.
I disagree. I think Fantasy Grounds is
There's
only
a lot to learn, but
complicated-
once you have it, it's very
it's
straight.
only complicated like navigating the interface and stuff.
Right.
But it actually like tracks all the bullshit.
It does the math for you.
It does the math for you.
Well, that makes it easier for
keeps
the
track of
DM.
Everything. I mean, like even for players, like I don't have to. I know it sounds dumb, but I have played with people who have played D&D for like a year or more in a specific campaign, and it will come to their turn, and they will go, "Okay, I attack," and then they will have to sit there and try to figure out what the modifiers are, even though it's just written down.
I get that for dual wielding on a fucking like fighter back in 3.5 when you had 9 million attacks at different modifiers for each one.
Well, it's also nice to have like all of your spells in a single thing that like is all linked together, so you don't have to like, if you want to cast a spell, you don't have to break out a book and look it up or anything like that. You just go, okay, click, and then it brings up the spell for you.
No, I know it makes it easier to play, but I think it makes it more difficult to learn.
Yeah, I think I would prefer the paper and pencil.
Yeah, I would think that the paper is like, because if you haven't really played D&D before, and you're learning on paper, all you're learning is D&D. If you're learning in Fantasy Grounds, you're learning Fantasy Grounds, and you're learning D&D on top of that.
That's true.
So it's more to learn, but once you have it down, like, you know, it's very convenient.
I
Beating this
think this
ass.
is easier. I would rather do this than write
Right,
shit
but
on
you
paper.
you already knew how to play
Beating the
D&D, right?
shit out of him.
No,
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 sort
I
of.
learned. Well, like we played briefly. Mike
Yeah,
ran a
beat
brief
that ass.
campaign last year, and all right. No, Mike ran briefly last year, but we just played by like 2-page bare minimum rules. Here's some fucking D&D, and
Gotcha.
like
There is it was written as a April Fool's joke, and it's like a 2 pages. Here's some fucking D&D. Here's some.
oh, you better be
D&D.
careful, Mike. When you put fucking and stuff, you get the.
Ah, I got it. We're good. There you go. Here's some fucking D&D.
Yeah, well, but
It is
like it was
super stripped down and not meant to be taken seriously.
right.
But we
But-
were originally
100%
going to play
XP.
normal, and I linked them the PDF, and before I could say anything, they were like, this is a lot to take in. Can we just play something simpler? And I was like, okay, like this is super fucking simple. So we played this, but like super heavily modified. And I basically what I was doing is I was gradually turning this into actual D&D.
Gotcha.
So like I started giving them sneak attack. I started giving them backgrounds and
There's the XP
skills
from
and
this,
stuff like
like
that.
the XP system from this in West March, huh? Characters
Yeah.
gain experience from spending fat loot and gained in dungeons and shit.
No,
Spend
we
it
just
all,
gained,
spend
like,
it all on
my-
shit like taverns and fucking whorehouses and shit. I don't know. But spend it
No,
on
what I
training
use
really
is
fucking dull.
it's a long used method just called for EXP.
No.
As EXP.
Advancement requires 2,000 times your current level in XP. Wow, that's expensive.
Warlocks can blast shit once each round, even if they attack, because they're evil dicks.
Alright, well, I'm gonna jump off for now.
All right. Catch you next Sunday.
Yeah, I'll be around. See you guys.
Later.
We got them.
Later.
I don't know if anybody is watching, but for my own record, I'm playing Gray. He is a dwarf who is... Let me find it. Still new to this. Alright. He's 229 years old. He's 4'9" and 248 pounds. He's neutral good. And he follows the deity Dugmarin Brightmantle, god of discovery. His personal traits are I rolled for all of these. I've been isolated for so long that I rarely speak, preferring gestures and the occasional grunt. Basically, that means he's not going to be talking a whole lot, which is perfect because I'm new to D&D. Ideals. Greater good. My gifts are meant to be shared with all, not used for my own benefit. I'm going to take that as he's very giving. Like if he obtains something and somebody else can use it, he's not going to even try to keep it for himself. He's just going to pass it off. He's got his robe and his book, and that's all he needs. He's a happy man. Bonds. His isolation has given him great insight into the great evil that only I can destroy. So I'm playing that as if his years of study, because he's been isolated for at least 100 years, um, and through his studies and knowledge that he's obtained, he's just learned of an impending evil. He doesn't know exactly what it is, but he knows something is wrong. And his flaw is that he'd risk much to uncover a lost bit of knowledge. So haven't really written this into his lore yet, but just kind of thinking of that, it feels like there's a piece to the puzzle that he can't find. And if he was to ever find out the location of that knowledge where he could find that piece of the puzzle, he'd risk a lot. So a quick appearance. He's just short. He's not muscular. Some dwarfs are. He's just kind of short, stunty, fat. He's got a monstrous gray beard. And I wasn't sure how to write this, but down the center is just a column, like a tuft of hair with twine tied around, like every centimeter or so. And it kind of signifies his wealth of knowledge. I don't know what each twine would represent. Like each story he's read, but then a story feels so minimal. I don't know the right word. Each era he's learned about, each generation, something massive, but he has a ton of them, so he's very knowledgeable. In his general background, I've listed it as he's a dwarven cleric who's lived in the hills on the outskirts of Greenest for the past 100 years. Not much is known of his past, but the local village has nicknamed him Gray for his large, thick beard. He travels to the village once a week selling goods and purchasing supplies. He's devout to the god of discovery, Duke Marin Brightmantle, and through his solitude and knowledge, he has obtained great insight into an impending evil. The skills I took, or no, my skills are my proficiencies. I'm proficient in history, insight, medicine, nature, and religion. I know Dwarvish, Common, and Infernal. I haven't really double checked if that's okay, but I feel like through all my years of studying, I've learned an obscure language, which will probably never be helpful. But in the off chance that it is, Gray's going to be able to speak to them. Inventory. I currently have equipped some common clothes, a crossbow, scale mail, a shield, and a warhammer. I don't know if I'm supposed to have more equipped or not. Notes, that's what we just went over. Actions. So I have 3 cantrips. So I have light, which basically emits a light somewhere. Sacred Flame, which will do some damage, and then Spare the Dying, which will let me bring somebody in the dying state back to life. I have magic fingers, just you back to life. And then for my spells, so I guess as a cleric, I can learn, I can know all of my spells. I know them all, but I have to prepare a certain amount each day, and I have to not designate, but tell everybody that these are the spells I'm carrying with me today. So I'm taking Bless, which is just a buff for my party. Cure Wounds, which is just a healing word, which is another heal. Protection from evil and good, which I'm assuming is a buff. And then Sanctuary, which is a buff, so they can't take damage. So yeah. It looks like we're going to be doing this again next Sunday. I will try to live stream that one as well. If you guys are interested, it'll be around 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, and it should last about 4 hours is what I'm told so far. And I'm going to upload all this to my YouTube as well. So for anybody who's watching, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.